Well, we can get things kind of rolling here. Hope you're all having a good Monday. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It's time for some more magic. We're right at the back of... click in on this. We're right at the back of Alchemy. 1 day left of it for Lorwyn Eclipsed. We can see we've got... If I go back here... Powered Cube is sitting around, and we've got... other draft formats kind of shifted in and out over the next weeks, but 2 weeks, I don't say a week from, but no, 2 weeks from tomorrow is the MTGA release for TMNT, which starts previews tomorrow, and is because of the early release on those rares and mythics, that tragic pre-release bit. There's only commons on commons left, so the spoiler season is much abbreviated. It's just this week, with I think the pre-release is this weekend and the pre-release is next. McTemeron, thanks for the big sub, appreciate it. Can we get a cool alchemy? I want to I want to, as the stream title may tell you, I do want to see if we can get Faye going. It's one of those things that I continue to want to be able to do, seeing as it's on a kind of level below the other 5 creature types. But if that doesn't work, we can, whatever we can find, I'll gladly ride the seas a little bit. Our little buddy here, who's cool, prismatic, vivid liking, pretty aggressive, and is just kind of free vivid after a few turns. So, but yeah, let's see if we can have some more fun times with some alchemy powers. Actually, elementals are another. I think that would be a fun direction to try with some of the alchemy stuff. Elementals is just a draft archetype that I really like in this set in the first place. So, we'll kind of see. We've seen a number of the alchemy elemental pieces both in the draft and on the other side of the table. With regard to turning all your spells into elementals and making flame braiders when you cast enough spells, bits like that. More constructed pieces than anything else, because it's going to be difficult to put anything drafting together in that way. But let's take a look. Oh, that's not the layout I want. Ooh, speaking of elementals, Champion of the Path is a killer. So Champion of the Path, it's fighting up against Grave Shifter, Seer, and then some fine level things. You, Informant. So Champion of the Path is a piece that says when an elemental comes into play, it hits your opponent for its power. 7/3. This thing's pretty fragile. Huge power, but packs some silly nonsense power if you're able to do some cloning. When we had that champion deck in the past that did some cloning, this would be the place to be. I'm willing to pick this up over the Seer even, to try to have a set direction. I'm sad mostly about the Grave Shifter. I think this is a little bit of an early commitment. We'll see where it lines up. So I know that Shrine Striker is one that, obviously, we see a Bull Drifter and we're happy. Grub's also very good. I'm not gonna lie, Gathering Stone is one that immediately, is that worth the jump to get us the cheaper elementals, to get us the cheaper card draw? Try to commit in that direction, which lets us pivot a little better. I know that passing grub means that, like, we're not going to be likely in goblins. That's okay. We've done a couple goblins in the more modern things. It looks like the alchemy card was the take here. So, whatever they had. Kolrath Zealot, obviously Shrine Striker. I'm going to pick up the Gathering Stone. Let's see if we can't find some more fun elemental pieces to go with. Oh, all right. Hello. Ashling here lets you cast 4. When you flip Ashling, you get 2 mana every turn, including the turn you flip Ashling. And then you can spend that mana only on 4-cost cards or higher. And then when you flip back Ashling, you can filter draw. We do have a couple already 4-cost things that we'd love to be able to flip on 3. That's great. High Graveshifter number 2. Looks like black I'm passing pretty soundly. So I'm probably going to try to avoid that with the power of 2 Graveshifters and the Grub. Whoever's got that has recursion for days. If you picked Graveshifter, then Grub, then Graveshifter, I think your graveyard is just already in your hand at all times. But Ashling is absolutely a fun direction with this. So that's good. White and green, light in here. Try to keep this rolling. Hexing Squelcher. Sorry, Hexing Squelcher is, you know, it's Hexing, it's Squelcher. Eclipsed Flamekin is the one that stands out immediately to me. Funnily enough, because this one is the odd one out in the cycle, because this one has that 1 instead of the hybrid, Gathering Stone has more utility with it. Great to see. Feed the Flames is a 4, which can matter for being removal. Summon Sentinel's a card I'd love to get back, but kind of, I don't know if I'd say doubt it. This is like because I'm looking at this pack and there's a lot of more top end, especially for people in different colors. Anyway, Eclipse Flamekin easily slots into what we're doing. Happy to see that. Giant Fall, Torchmaster, Summit Sentinel, Giant Fall? Giant Fall is removal. The artifact kill on this comes up, like, rarely, but enough with something like a Gathering Stone showing up. I think the Summit Sentinel is the other card I would pick out of here. I've grown to like Torchmaster more when I'm playing with it. We see Clomper. Virulent Emissary is actually really, really strong. I have a high opinion of this card. But Summon Sentinel is also, like, good. I kind of like getting our red set here. Rhyme Chill, Eclipse Boggart, and again, that player who's playing the Goblins is going to be in such a nice position. Flamecaster is fine. Topsoil Turner is our alchemy card in here. I believe in this card, but we're not, like, Gruul Ramp going on here. I don't believe there's much in Rhyme Chill. I've seen it played to some decent effect. But Changeling Wayfinder, get the Flamecaster, get more elementals going on. Squawk Roaster. Ooh, here we go. Big fan of the Flaring Cinder. This is a card that makes the elemental decks consistent with the ability to. It doesn't care about how much mana we spent, so Gathering Stone works with it. Yeah, no, part of drafting is making sure that you're in a good position and making sure, like, if everyone has their deck kind of, like, nicely and neatly seated, then you can pick the cards best for you. And, like, yeah, they're going to get Elderonti, but I'm getting Flaring Cinder for it, you know? We could also pick up another, you know, like, they get their Gut Splitter Gang, we get our Flaring Cinder. Gonna note, no blue cards in the pick. If we see a rare in pack 2 that pushes us in a odd direction, especially with elementals being what they are, you know, say we see one of the evoke elementals, something like that, we can easily find a way to fit that in. I'm gonna pick up this Guild Weaver. I know Sore Roaster is here. Graveshifter made it all the way around. Ooh, if Grub is in the next pack... Okay, Grub is not in the next pack. We got Mono Red. I'll just go ahead and grab a Wicker Maw. That'll give us some early game. Okay, sadly we didn't get back our littlest of buddies. Both the Soulbright Seeker immediately stands out. I like this one a lot. Not a lot else. Tweeze would also be like removal. That's just something we're a little light on. I'm gonna put the blue away for the moment. We'll see. Both of the 1/3s that draw did not make it back around. But Soulbright Seeker is a ramp piece, especially for this red. It can let us play 4s on 3, so we could like get the Gathering Stone down on 3. It also is a 2-power creature on 1. Also, handing off trample, not unreasonable, you know? Good enough. Sig? Okay. Alchemy card is a Volatile Rift, something I would not feel bad picking up. Especially with the Champion of the Path. Sig, huh? I think I might just be fine playing Sig with, like, limited ability to transform, right? Like, even if we don't play the white, this is a 2/2 unblockable that, like, hands off a card draw. The other card in here, again, is the Tweeze. I've been passing those up. And maybe the red is actually more our business. Maybe that's fine. No, I'm gonna believe in blue and pick Sig here. I know that, like, Pyrrhic Strike, Squawkers, your Cinder Strike, thank you. Good to see. Interesting to see white showing up a little bit. Nameless Inversion, damn. That's a card I wouldn't expect to get past the Grub player. With Grub, that card's very strong. Changeling Wayfinder, this thing seems pretty straightforward. We're not very, vivid at the moment. Not very blue either. Flame Braider, okay, alright. Flame Braider gets us up to some of our top end more highly. I want to find more of our, the Kolrath 6-drop, for instance, is one that if we're able to play on 4 looks so much better. Swat away? Talking about blue cards, this one is really good. Could also pick up the Soarer, which plays very well with the Champion of the Path and gets down cheap. Flaring Cinder we already have 2 of. I want to pick up something a little more top-heavy. I'd probably play another copy of it, but I feel like we'll find another copy of it is the bigger issue. I'll take the Swat away. I'm chill, Spell Snare, Kith Keeper. I don't believe in Spell Snare in Limited. In Constructed, this card does a lot because of the constricted mana curve, speed of the game. In Limited, I'm not as huge on what our opponent might be doing. Okay. Pester Wellguard. Run away together. Not huge on targets for that. Wellguard wants more ways for us to tap things to be better. Boldbeer Aggressor. We have Giants. We don't really have Giants. This is kind of just sitting there. Okay with it. Tweeze made it back. Okay. Also Evolving Wilds. I'll take the Tweeze, though. I was thinking about taking that on the way around. Again, our blue is very light. Even in pack 3, if we open up something, like, more interesting for it, I'm happy enough to kind of shift into that as second color. Swat Away is I picked this over the Flyer. The double blue is maybe a little bit aggressive on it. I also would love to find a copy of Kindle or Omni Changeling. That would make me feel a lot better about the Champion specifically. I'm gonna hide a Spell Snare. Dorian's Bark just doesn't work in our creatures. Squawk Roaster, sure. Puka's Eye. Puka's Eye's better with the friend that gets a color every turn. Alright, back 3. Let's find definition for the second half of the deck. Okay. Formidable Speaker. Rating schemes. Formidable Speaker. And our Alchemy is Putrid Hexhag, which isn't for us. Wonderwine Farewell. Bounces, and then, like, makes Merfolk. I'm willing to grab the speaker and then use that as, like, finding some of our more top-heavy pieces. Don't hate it. Might grab it because I'm only fighting against things that I'm not super into right now. Again, Flaring Cinder 3 is fine, but I'm going to take the speaker, see if that... Hello. Reflective Rhymekin and Deceit. Now, Deceit is really, like, powerful on the back of Flame Braider, really powerful off the back of Ashling. I'm willing to pick this up on the back of either side. I think if you're able to use both, this card has Destroy Target Non-Land Permanent as its text. If we're just able to use the bounce, it's a 5/5 bounce. Reflective Rhymekin would also be nice, though we don't have a ton of things for it to double. Doubling up Cinder Strike or Tweeze is very good. Want to see some more of the element. Hello? Can I make this happen? Is that red, red, blue, blue, and I need a white mana for it? Red, red, blue, blue, and a white mana. Red, red, blue, blue. Okay. It's me, Satan. Please do it. Hello, Satan. Red, red, blue, blue, and a white. Okay, alright. We're not this. That's not a Cinder Strike. Eclipsed Realm. Can't name a creature type that card uses. Because this is a spirit avatar, not an elemental. This is a fine place for a Cinder Strike. I want a copy of the 6-drop elemental. I want... Ooh, Eclipsed Flamekin again. This is a card that does very well. Yeah, more Eclipsed Flamekin is a very, very cool place to be. And also, it is a hybrid card, along with Deceit. I don't think I'm including Swamps, by the way. I'm letting this happen either by Flame Braider or Ashling, if it's going to happen. Winnowing. Here we are. Okay. Get the Zealot that I wanted. Winnowing, I just don't believe in. A lot of the times you don't have a target for the board, or like there's a changeling and it just doesn't work, and I don't know. In limited, things are too based on creature types for me to be super happy about that card. Starfire, Berserker, Temporal. Ooh, hello. When this artifact enters, seek a creature of the most prevalent creature type in your library. That'll be elemental. Tap for 1 mana of any color. And that only on creature spells. You know? Okay. Sure. Last chance at new cards, pack 8. Ooh, last chance at new cards indeed. Rhyme Speaker doesn't have a million targets in this deck, but it does have targets. And is a reason for me to feel a lot better about the blue side of things. I think we can finally pick up Flaring Cinder 3. I'm not really into rating schemes, and we already have 2 Wicker Maws and a copy that's sort of like this, but you know. Huge kick me sign. Ooh, a Stratosaur and a, oh, hold on. Ooh. Guild Weaver. These are both really nice. I don't think we have a copy of this, and we do have a Flamekin. I think that's the breaking point. Flaring Cinder the third. We could play the Puka's Eye, the counter spell. I don't think, or that's a fourth. I don't think we need the fourth. I'm not playing. I'm sorry, Fairies. Summon Sentinel! We already have 2 in range. I'd like a little tiny body to be able to... Oh, and we get in range anyway. Okay. The only thing this deck feels like that it's missing for, like, full pieces for what it's doing is, like, maybe a large removal spell and a Kindle. We don't have any, like... One of the things I wanted with Champion of the Path is things that could copy elementals so that we can make a copy of Champion of the Path and our opponent would die. So if you have Champion of the Path, and if you remember our good buddy Kindle, I'm gonna pull it up, rekindle. It's fine. Let me pull up the card so I can at least show you the thing that we're not doing. Because with the champion, give me 4s, please. With the Champion of the Path, whenever an elemental comes into play, your opponent takes damage equal to its power. With Kindle the Inner Flame, you make a token that's a copy of it, and it would be a champion, so your opponent would take 7. Then you'd make a copy of Champion of the Path, and your opponent would take 14 on top of the 7. So, just gotta build your deck. All right, let's go ahead and build up. Other way, please. Oh, everything's in the deck. I don't want everything in the deck. So we're going to include, I think, 1 Plains. The Plains is for Providence, and it's for Sig. Arm Speaker, Stratus Sower, Cinder Strike, Flame Braid, Flamecaster, Champion of the Path, Guild Weaver. Don't know if I believe in the Squawk Roaster. We didn't end up doing that. That's fine. Flaring Cinders, Providence, Gathering Stone, and the Heirloom puts us at 41. It incorrectly identified the land I want. What's this look like then? 17 and 7. 15 elementals. Yeah, we are committed. Probably our cut. Yeah, we don't have any changelings, funnily enough. Thank you. So the 1 Plains is for... So the mana cost on Providence is blue, red, and then green-white hybrid. We're going to include the Plains for the ability to cast the Providence off of blue, red, white. We're also including the Plains as a way to flicker Sig. Sig here is really good at handing off, like, pushing through. Like, when we flip back and forth, Sig hands off protection from each color on the backside when we flip to back Sig. And that can be, like, you know, some of our large creatures all of a sudden able to get through. And then frontside Sig hands off card draw. And Sig is just unblockable on all sides. So... Giant Fall, Tweeze, and our Cinder Strikes are our removal suite. Swat Away is fine. We're blue enough for it now. Gathering Stone with 15 elementals is really good. And Deceit we're using as a mono blue Deceit with the ability for Ashling adding 2 mana of any one color, or Flame Braider adding 2 mana in any combination to allow us to get Deceit for the black. Because those can do it on their own, I don't want to commit to having black in the deck. I just want to commit to either of these cards letting us do it. God, what's the cut here? What on earth is... Summit Sentinel, Flamecaster are both filler-ish cards. Is that fine? Summon Sentinel is like hold the ground and just sort of like die and draw against things like the Lisa Lana 3-1, bits like that. We're gonna go 9-7 because we are slightly heavier in the red. Okay. I have seen beyond the moonlight. I've seen the infinite night. It does not creep. It has no need. It is already here. Yeah, this looks fun. We're not making use of, like, Flamekin, like, the elemental alchemy stuff. Hell, I think Ardent's Heirloom, Adherence Heirloom is our only alchemy card. So I'm sure we'll get to see some signs of our opponent. And I think we're missing, like, some of my favorite ones are like the FTK Elemental or the Doubler. But, yeah, now let's go. No changelings, but like 15 or 14 or 15 elementals means I don't feel like we're going to be hard up for things to champion, as well as we can champion things like the Eclipsed Flamekin. All the loading tips in here are the listener's lament. Alright. What you got for us, Riker's dad? I will keep this. Moogle v Chocobo. Tale as old as time. This is a hand that could use a 3-drop, one of our... That's probably getting the Cinder Strike. That's getting the Cinder Strike, and we're getting a really cool play off it. Okay. I was gonna say, this hand could use a cycling to get us past some of these extra lands, and, well, what do you know? Ashling does that. An Eclipsed Flamekin? Ashling will be able to flip, play out this Rhyme Speaker. If not, we can just play the Rhyme Speaker. Okay, opponent has... we will go ahead and flip. I would like blue mana, please. And then... let's go ahead and Rhyme Speak. So, we have two things that are all, like... I think are lightning rods. Rhyme Speaker is something I feel like you should be killing on sight, and Ashling is a ramp piece. I think that they'll go for Ashling first. Okay. Putting more blight on the Moonlighters. That's pretty dang good for them. Let's go ahead and Eclipse. Hopefully we can find some more big stuff. Ooh. I'll just take Cool Rat Zealot here. Goodbye, Providence. That was an instant. So they only have single white. They can't draw 2 right now, and we're very defensive-minded. Cool Rat Zealot is going to start pushing at them and draws us another card. This lets you... Well, okay. Probably losing the Giant Fall to that. No, maybe losing the Cool Rat Zealot. And then killing the Moonlight Lamenter while the shields are down so they can't draw 3? That actually seems more important. I know there's a flyer I can kill too, but like, Moonlit Lamenter draws a million cards. Let's go for it. If they have, like, a revive, they lose all the -1/-1s. And if we draw a land, we can play Zealot. If we don't draw a land, it's something that we can play by definition. So, this helps out. They're on 2 cards. They have the Flyer, but the Flyer is killable by all of our removal. I guess it's a 5-turn clock. We've already used 2 of our pieces. Reaping Willow with the okay, that's the Reviver. Alright. That's the deck. They've got a lot of the black-white blight. So they get to pick up their Lamenter. But luckily, Korat Zealot is just big enough to, like, pass by this. Okay, we're gonna spend Flame Braider. Like so. We draw a card, and then we get our card from the Korat Zealot, which is a Cinder Strike. Let me go ahead and take the Flyer out of here. I know they've got the Moon Elementer. That's something we could kill as well, but I really want... So they're going to draw their card, yep. Are they finding their second white source? Playing a lot off that single plains. We're light on removal now, just as a... Okay, that's a nice draw. Would have liked the Flame Braider to tap for that, but... Yeah, would have really liked the Flame Braider to tap for that. I'll have to remember that for the future. Not going in right now. Swat Away will draw us a card on cast? Sure, that's fine. If a creature is attacking you, not attacking, just attacking you. Gathering Stone. Ooh, you are beautiful. Okay. Let's draw a card, and then we can filter it if we don't want it. I do want it. Elemental, please. We have Deceit still left, and we have Flame Braider in play. We'll take that. We could play that, but I can just play... So Sig could hand up... No, I think I play the Flame Kin Guildweaver right now. Draws another card. Sig hands off the card draw. Okay. Let's pass it up. Next turn we'll start in on combat with Swat Away up to, like, stop a double block. Okay. We do have Swat Away up if combat happens at us. Because even though... Okay. Yeah, alright. What do you mean the engine's roaring? The King Engine comes to life. Like, yeah. They did, like, they made their choice between Rhyme Speaker and Sig. Sigby, or not Sig, Ashling, wrong flip card. And, like, the thing is with, like, Ashling would get us down further in the deck. Yeah. Cool. We're on the clock. Let's ride. Okay, this makes for a good engine. What was that noise? Okay. So, like, it's not an elemental, but this hand is also, like, 1 blue away from casting it. With the power of Flame Braider to push us very far into this deck. Yeah, elementals only. Okay. This is must kill, so they will kill it. You don't say. Thank you. All right. You know this copies hybrid mono spells? Turn 4 Providence, huh? Okay. All right. What do we have? Eulogist. Sure. This is blank. It did hit an elf. All right, well. Hello. Providence is here. 5 turn clock. So any hybrid things we draw are really good. And this has protection from monocolored. Literal protection. Okay, won't protect from that. They can pick up the Alchemist or the Changeling Wayfinder. If they have a splash, the Wayfinder's good. Also can block. If they leave up a single black mana there, I wouldn't attack into that. Okay. Yep. Menace, we can't get in. How do I want to go about this, then? Flaring Cinder, do some cycling? I kind of like Flaring Cinder, do some cycling. I know the champion's in hand, but like... Okay. Behold. I don't know if that attack is right now that I'm, like, looking at how this is, like, going to play over the next 4 turns. Yeah, I think we need to be using the Providence defensively. That's fine. We will be able to play champion. Okay, that is fine. They can use that to kill a creature. Yeah, I think we need the Providence back now. In for 3 plus 2, yeah. Okay. No blocks. We can jump the champion of the path. Ooh, Eclipsed Flamekin. Do I want to play that plus the champion of the path? Okay. I'm gonna behold the Soulbright Seeker. Okay. Then we get 2 Eclipsed Flamekin because, you know. Okay, Ashling, thank you. Deceit, thank you. No attacks for the moment. We're gonna be able to play a bit longer with this. The Stratosower presents lethal damage. Okay, well, it doesn't anymore, but we still might be okay because I can use Deceit to make it do lethal damage? Yeah. So if I go... Oh, this is... Deceit, huh? Is my opponent just dead? Does the copy have double... I don't know if the copy had double blue spent on it. Right? Like... So, yeah, double blue. Now, the big thing is that the copy will have 5 power. Okay. You know? I suppose? Do you have Bloodline? That's the way you get out of this, is you just slam, pick all your elves up, right? Okay. So yeah, we did have that lethal with the jump. Obviously, the flash there gets through it. God. And as we saw, the Deceit copy did not have double blue cast for it, so it doesn't do anything, but it also dealt 5 damage. This deck is doing some nonsense, and it's not even terribly Alchemy's fault. I mean, okay, let me back up. Our Spirit Avatar is an Alchemy card. I guess I haven't been true to you on this. We do have an Alchemy card. I don't think of it as an Alchemy card because it's a card that works in paper, but that was a Flash Reach 4-2 for 3. Yes, that's just in the set. This is fine. Defensive setup and Gathering Stone for getting us moving. Ah, the Ponder Pearl. The Ponder Pearl's funny. So, second land out of our merfolk opponent, and they've got Ponder, Ooh, Encumbered Regery. Yeah. I'll take that down while I can. Perhaps we get the Ponder out of our opponent here. Because they were counting on this to be snowbally, get their third land. They shuffle Drew, okay. And there's land 3. Okay, good news. That thing is extremely blockable by the power of Summit Sentinel. And then we can Gathering Stone on the following turn to get us some... Okay, that's gonna, get through for their Pearl, but Pearl just gets a Flooded Strand. Which is cool, but obviously they're going to do this because it gains them 2 life. And we're just gonna go ahead and Gathering Stone on Elemental. I know it's, I feel like we're a little behind right now, but, this... Okay, that's great. That's castable next turn. And now everything's cheaper. So we can we can get out from under the speed we're under here with some large creatures. I love Gathering Stone for being, the cost down and the draw, as well as, a nice Surveil. So they're going to go ahead and play their Flooded Strand, I'm sure. They didn't attack with the Preacher. Do you have, Do you have a Convoke, perhaps, waiting in the wings? Otherwise, it's 2 free life you passed up. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a Convoke waiting in the wings. That's 5. Yep. Okay. That counts correct. No thank you. I don't want Island right now. Don't want that either, but we'll take it. I think I'm playing Kulrath Zealot right now. I could play Stratosaur. But Kulrath Zealot lets me play Stratosaur and Giant Fall next turn. Or lets us play that next turn. Okay. So the problem with getting Providence off that is that I don't know that I want to be casting Providence next turn. There's too much evasion going on the ground, yeah. It's got to be Stratosaur, and then removal, because there's a million things happening right now. This is a board in search of, Take that. We're gonna have to give up on Providence. Okay. Goodbye, our good friend. This is tense. They have unblockable Gravekill Scoundrels just by tapping creatures. And they can tap the life gainers. I don't have a ton. They can hit us for 2 easy. But what can they do medium? An all-out Court Press hits us still pretty hard. I take I block the Rhyme Can, I block the Preacher, we take 4 or 5. Block any Scoundrels. If they have removal for... Oh, no! Uh-oh. Sig's Command, huh? Sure. Yeah. Alright, so Stratosower is tapped. They get another flyer. Uh-huh. Yeah, we don't have, like... We don't have good mechanisms to come back on a board like this. I can put down a lot of bodies. Not quite enough, though. I'm gonna try and use Swat Away here, getting them to, like, just attack with the flyer. Nah, they're still going in with the Scoundrels. Okay. If you're wondering why I didn't try to, like, evoke this plus the Swat Away, we don't have 4 blue. Okay, okay. We are elementally weak to wide boards. We were missing the Ashling's Command to come out from behind on that. We kind of need Gathering Stone to get us our own wide board. As far as more specifically, we're not actually that high on evasion. It's alright. Providence. Providence is evasion. Providence is copying, and Providence is so silly for that. Wish we had a hybrid removal spell. Yeah, this is fine. If the need arises, I can use that Zealot for a land. I don't think the need will be here. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get Sig down. Yeah, you can have it. I'm completely willing to trade Sig here, because I feel like this is a game where we're playing for a bit of a long game with the Rhyme Speaker. And I'd rather do board trades, 1 for 1, 2 mana in, 2 mana out. Yeah, there's... Okay, and they have more preaching, more... Okay. Let's, Flaring Cinder... Discarding Flaring Cinder? Okay, that gets us a blue. And there's Wine Preacher. 2 cards remain. I'll block the 1/1 and get your trick. You obviously have one, so let's see it. Destroying a blocking creature. Yep. Okay. Ooh, okay. Alright. Rhyme Speaker. Get down here. We can evoke Deceit to draw a card. They have 1 card, I guess 2 now after the draw. So we're on few remaining pieces for our opponent. Okay. Narrow Sky Swimmer, flying. If we draw the planes, we're... Tweeze is really good here. Tweeze to kill the flyer. Kureth Zealot to go grab a planes? Yeah. And then we got Tweeze up, so... Rhyme Speaker is trying to hold the world down. Another Preacher. Yeah. We're going to be drawing 3 cards to get to Deceit here, so I'm fine. Ooh, okay. Providence! Do you have Counterspell with Blight? Oh my god, alright. None of these are worth using my Strike on. This is the end of the game. Ooh, draw? Never mind. They have draw 3. I thought this was the end of the game. They still have pieces remaining. That's a very powerful card to have as their final piece. Maybe they can find ways around... I don't think they're finding a way around Providence of Night, but... They certainly are very... This is the 3rd Preacher? Oh my god. Okay. Last card is... Oh, by the way, the Maha... I love these. Okay. Deceit. I'll just bounce a token. No, that's fine. Not quite yet. We're still a little dicey here. We'll put that on bottom. Well, the problem is that, like, this is just 2/2s on the ground. When did you learn that Deceit isn't legendary? It sure isn't. Deceit is within us all. Damn, yeah. I'm sorry, Providence, for not saying I'm doing Alchemy Nonsense when I'm very clearly doing Alchemy Nonsense. Do I want this extra Flaring Cinder for us to have more things to copy? Am I, like... I don't think I want a triple blue card in the deck. I think that's a little much of a reach. I think we'll stick with what we have. Those elementals are so cool. This deck is a blast. Jello the Foosh. Wow. It's not turn 3 Providence, right? No, because I have to spend 1 to flip Ashling. It's Gathering Stone, then it's Providence on turn 4. I don't even think I'm filtering anything. My hand is that good. Decline. I think you need to... Oh, okay. All right. Hold on. All right. Yeah, so blue. I think I want the rhyme speaker here. If I made a third red, I could have made Soul Bright turn on and then... Let's get damage in while we can. Flame Braider. So the best I think they can do is play the Gruul incarnation off of Flame Braider, killing Ashling. That would be... Oh, okay. I think our opponent has moves that are just as nonsense as us. I think they've got some power. I think an incarnation here. Maybe just a... Okay, just an Eclipsed Flamekin, not an incarnation. Providence can kill Providence. I'm happy it's just an Eclipsed Flamekin. Sure. Okay. These are fair cards. God, we are doing some... Ooh, swat away. All right, I would like... to spend some black mana, please. All right. Yeah, this feels good. So they still have Flame Braider. They've got a 6th land. I guess they could... Okay, they've got their own pile of hybrid, and this is a way to let them filter out cards. They even have almost enough to stop me in combat. Ashling, I don't think, is flipping back. Okay, Mauler. Sure. Tweeze, that's nice. Give me some red mana, please, and I will decline on you. 4 mana things. Okay, so I can't use the red mana to filter into Soul Bright Seeker. Yeah. I can do better than Adherence Heirloom here. Do I want to tweeze anything? I think we're just gonna... I think we're just gonna double this up. Yeah, Flame Braider. Champion. Cool. So this will still let us cast 4 CMC things like Champion. We're looking for our Deceit. If I can get in with Providence and then, like, have Tweeze and Swat away up. Oh, hey, this time around, we're just, you know, doing things. I don't know. Do you want every engine piece in the world? We draw cards, we copy spells, we have protection from everything. Our opponent's got mana, but they don't have cards and copying and everything. Yeah, this is how our deck wins. Our opponent's gotta look at the, like, machine. The King Engine roars. This is a little more... Like, you want mana? You want mana? You want cards? You want cards? You want mana? You want cards? Like... Yeah, this is getting it all done. We did 2 whole combat damage? I think we got 4, right? I got in there with the 2-1 twice before we had to stop attacking. Yeah, keep... Again, looking sweet. This has got kind of the elemental curve to it. Soulbright Seeker might get us champion on 3 if things look spicy enough for that. I don't know that I want to do that. We can hand off trample to it, but, like, it's still 3 toughness. Obviously, let's push. I'll show them the cheapest elemental in the hand, the one that they could assume we are holding regardless. Flaring Cinder is a pretty good 3, and I like Grime Speaker as a 4. Okay. I think I'm still doing Flaring Cinder on 3 here. I know I could champion the path, but, like... How do I want to do this? Do I want to discard Swat Away? I don't have the ability to cast that card. Yeah, even if it's a land, we can still, like, filter that later. It's not a bad thing. Yeah, this was an elemental thing with Lorwyn Elementals where they had a triple activation for, like, a thing. There was a 2-1 that did this that was pretty dang cool. The 2-1 that did this was, like, a common that was, like, a 2-mana 2-1, pay 2, give a creature trample. If you use it 3 times, it 8 mana. We're just playing a Rhyme Speaker here. Okay. I am fine attacking in here. Our opponent's playing a Chaos Spewer. That means that they're in a defensive position. Okay, well, I got them a land. the idea here is that I want to hand off trample. Yeah. I guess I should have triple redded there. Clearly off a color out of our opponent, but they couldn't cycle this because it was removed. But yeah, the original Lorwyn elementals had a couple different things. So, like, to talk about original Lorwyn elementals for just a moment. Flame Braider is in an almost exact copy of Smoke Braider, a card from Lorwyn that had this same text of 2 mana of any colors, tap for 2 mana of any colors, spend on elementals or activating elementals. I think it was activated as well. I think you could use it to filter into some of the ones, but like, but it was a 1/1 instead of a 2/2. And the Soulbright Seeker was a 2/1, was the same body for 2, but it didn't have that Behold piece, and it was a little more expensive. But they had the same, like, elementals had a lot of different moving parts with the 5-color mana base, with the ability to filter mana into a ton of red, and then a lot of evoke elementals, Moldrifter and friends. Really interesting, like, pieces that they all built into. And they're really cohesively built here in a really interesting way, because the elementals focusing on 4 mana spells on one of their sides in the set works really nicely with the older evoke elementals. You can evoke a Moldrifter for 3, but it counts as a 5 mana spell for your things that like that. You can evoke an Ingot Chewer for 1, and it is a 5-drop. You can invoke a Spike Bellows for 3, and it was a 6. So, like, it already has that way of, like, sidestepping if you wanted to build a more full Lorwyn. Okay, hold on. How would this set draft with original Lorwyn? Ooh. Would you go, like, Lorwyn Eclipsed? Lorwyn Morningtide? Lorwyn Eclipsed? You know, like, Treefolk and Giants are already, like, secondary in Lorwyn and Morningtide, so that works just fine. Limos. Alright, Limos. We're fine. This is definitely fine. Flaring Cinderbane. We're off red, obviously, but, like, this cycles on death, this cycles on play. We get to lie to our opponent, so that's good. What do they got? So this, you know, that's either Kithkin or... Okay, that is Kithkin. Not worth killing. I don't think I cycle any of these. These are all, like, really excellent pieces. I want to cycle the red and I want all the removal spells, so I'm actually going to hold these. Decline, the hand's too good. Please don't read too much into that. Okay. Ooh. I want the Gathering Stone, but then this will be too big to kill. It's still worth it. Because I can Cinder Strike onto... Mono white? Are you off a color? Nah, You could just be mono white. Yeah? Okay, well, Okay. So they can ever strike again. That's fine. Summit Sentinel's Death wants to draw us a red source. Obviously, we can Providence if we get the red source, then we can double Deceit. We're just going in on pick that up and put it on Kinsbale? Dang, okay. Well. Yeah, reveal that. Draw. I can't fit that in on the turn unless I... That's fine. Okay. So Aspirant down. They can make a token. They can pick up the flight again. We've got Deceit as a way around it a third time. I want to get the Rhyme Speaker down or the Providence down. Figure of Fable. Oh boy. Okay. Do you have the 5th land? We're just gonna make more bodies. Okay. Okay. Alright, and we draw the red. That Figure of Fable is, something that, Providence can't fight. Let's cycle the Heirloom. Mono white, very aggressive Ithkin. So double Deceit. Again, you can't. It's like, are they going to just pick up the... That becomes a 4/5. They can't make it fly yet. But that is enough bodies this can't attack. Protection from each of your opponents. I think then the thing we have to do is Deceit. Chunk that. Which, I think is good enough to win the game on the spot, but we'll see. So they can... Oh, wow, they do have green in the deck. I kind of thought this was mono white with how this was going, but... Okay. Figure back down. They can make the figure all in. They can do that. Cost them most their turn. They're at 12. Yeah, I don't think they've got enough time. I do feel, seeing this makes me feel like this must be like, you know, the rest of the active deck, but we have... Everstrike's Gift gets a lot done. We are having a blast copying hybrid cards. I'm so sorry, Down in Providence. It's actually easy to cast. It's stunning. In this deck, like, one of the things about it is that, like, if you're on enemy colors, you only need a splash on a third because of the way hybrid works. If you're on allied colors, it's a lot harder because, say you're on Merfolk, right? I'm playing Merfolk and I want to play Providence. So blue-white is 3 of the 5 pips, but then there's the Jund pips. There's the green-red and the black-red pips. And so splashing it into Merfolk, splashing it into Goblins, splashing it into Kithkin is much harder because of the way the pips are set. So for Elementals, and especially Elementals, it's a lot easier. For Elves as well, think of how Elves are very... think of how many times you've seen Marlin in an Elf deck, right? Just think about that, right? How many times Marlin shows up in an Elf deck and it's like, yeah, okay. Providence is the same splash. You just need to be able to play that blue-white for it. It also copies hybrid stuff, which we don't have changelings, which are the easy things. Copying your 2/3 lifelinker. Alright. I'll keep. Yeah, man. What you want? Is that good? Can I draw an island? Can I turn 4 Providence? Okay, that's also very nice. Lying is a thing we like to do to our opponent. Flamebreaker lets us cast this Cinder next turn on time. Damn. Alright, they can surveil 1. That's nice. Alright, so we could go Heirloom. Then we're gonna go... discard a mountain. Cool. Cool. I'm feeling so powerful right now, you can't even. Sure, Midnight Tilling. That gets them the swamp they might need, though they already have the Wicker Maw. Pick up the Gilt Leaf Embrace. Okay. Yeah, uh-huh. So then we just get to play this. I'll discard the mountain again. Thank you. And next turn we get to play Deceit both modes? Yeah, next turn we get Deceit both modes. Blue, blue, black, black. Do you have Doran? Doran on 4? Oh, that's not Doran on 4. That's not Doran at 4 at all. It's fine. It's really good. I really wanted it to be Doran on 4, though. Looks like Kithkin with the ability to, like... Alright, so let's go ahead and... Blue, blue, black, black. Pay with both sides. Deceit and deceit and deceit and deceit. I'll go ahead and bounce the... Wicker Maw. And then, let's see what our opponent's working with. You know, I'm so glad we get both modes, let me tell you what. That's a card that could kill us. Anyway, my Boros deck played Deceit both modes on turn 4. 5. Sorry, it's turn 5. I lied. It played Providence of Night on turn 4. Next turn we get to play Flamekin twice. So their hand is a creature that they can, a 5/6 they can drop that doesn't, and then, or like the Wicker Maw plus a 2 drop. And I get to like double Flamekin, draw a bunch, and hole up Tweez. That's fine. Yeah, champion. Yeah, Soulbright. Hey, guess what? Behold. You should kill my champion of the path. Behold. So if they Wrath of God, I still just get to play Deceit? Okay, that doesn't look like Wrath of God. This deck got to do heavier crimes than I ever expected. Providence is almost unanswerable in this format. Like, multicolor removal is like grubs, is like commands, and then that's the end of the line. So you need to kill it in combat then? But like, killing it in combat is also very difficult, because it's very transparent. But yeah, the big thing about this is the enemy color power. Red, red, blue, blue, and then the splash becomes very simple. We actually, if I wasn't playing the SIG, to be real, power at any cost, but the cost was like 25 cents, you know? To be very real. You know, this card has white or green. It might have been better as green. You know? Like, we could have included, an interesting payoff to grab our Deceit, which we did get to cast, so. Excellent. What a fun time. What a fun deck to play with. We did get to do Alchemy Nonsense in real ways with the power of one of our spirit avatars, Providence. I think that's a great way to close out Alchemy. Also, just like fun elemental stuff. Like, this deck was also even like, yes, Providence was like doing the nonsense stuff, but like the Ashling Sig and like Gathering Stone, a lot of fun power in that too. Just, we always had cards. All right, let's take our alchemy packs. Let's go ahead and grab our goodies to finish up the night. Province and I would be very fun in paper. That's something that just kind of is a part of alchemy, where like, I think it is for the better that not every alchemy card needs to be restricted in the sense that it must exist only as a digital only card, because that's a very heavy restriction on what you might want to do with the cards, right? It can still be a place for Providence of Night exists as a like fun reference to the demigod cycle. I call it the demigod cycle, but our deck also probably could have used Volatile Rift. Reflective Rhymekin, very, very cool. Elvish Elegy is actually really, really good in the elf stuff because they have a ton of uh. Now, I still love the Stab Wound Crocodile. That's one of my favorite alchemy cards that, like, by the rules doesn't work in paper, but if you just carry around a bunch of stab wounds, it will. Echoing Cavern. This one's quite nice because you can use it to grab a splash. So in our deck, for instance, very, very strong card for us. Imagine this in our deck that we just had. On turn 1 or 2, if we need this for fixing, we can play this, name Elemental, and play Ashling, right? Hey, we got our red. If we don't need it for elementals, we can play this and name Avatar. And then late game, end of turn, I'll exhaust this, seek Avatar. I will use the power of Zuko to seek the Avatar and find Providence, which is that meaningful? That might be meaningful to Zuko. Providence appears and then it can cast the Providence off of its splash. Very powerful for that. We saw an opponent do this with Marlin, where they could name Fae and then grab the only Fae out of their deck. Kithkin Brinefarer, very powerful Kithkin piece. And it works, the Thoughtweft Call, I think, almost feels designed with it in mind. When I look at the art, I think of, like, the grandma being like, back in the day, Constructed Kithkin was a tier 1, that was a real standard deck. And it's like, all right, grandma, we're going to go get you some more Kithkin. And the stories buff you. The stories of the old Kithkin decks are what make you powerful. Adaptive Armor. Okay, let's take a look at Adaptive Armor's spellbook. This is the feeling I have when I start talking about Rakdos Pit Dragon and somebody just pats me on the back and says, all right, Slyo. Like, well, let's go get you your Mole Drifter. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, so Adaptive Armor feels like a Stone Hewer Giant-esque card. It drafts a equipment, puts it into play, and then attaches it. And it has, oh my god, all... I'm sorry. It has Platinum Angel in there. Yeah, you got it, boss. Fire Shrieker, that's normal. Fishing Pole, that's normal. Haunch, I love the Haunch. Haunch is a food equipment. It's very cute. Leech is a leech equipment. This is very cute. Lion Sash, Mace of the Valiant. I think we saw Maul of the Skyclaves out of it. Sky Maul is very powerful. Thunder Lasso, Sigiled Sword. We talked about Saliciter and Soot. This is one of the cards that if we got to play with, even though this feels like a Storm card, it still works very, 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 very well just in Limited, because it's like, it immediately makes a take inventory, or usually a take inventory, and all your elementals do that too, and then you just start going wild. Infestation is another of our elementals. This is a really cool evoke card. The Wither on it makes the Blowfly Infestation a card from Shadowmoor block. Very powerful, especially with the -1/-1. This could do some nasty board clears. The Evoke is only 1 less than the Infestation costs normal, but it causes the Infestation to die, which can chain react. Do some fun bits. Anyway, that is going to be it for today. That was a great draft. I'm happy Alchemy got to go out on a fun note with some with Satan on my shoulder. Thank you, Satan on my shoulder. The devil wants you to pick Providence. And if you're in elementals or elves, Do it. Easy splash. So, yeah, thank you all for joining. If you want to catch more, you can always follow. See when I go live. 7 Central on weekdays is the live time. You can subscribe and cool skulls, slimes, mole drifters, and mimics. Thank you, Nick Themron, for the big sub. Appreciate it all as always. We're at 99 of 100 drafts out of this. The next draft will be will get us the Dauntless draft here. But yeah, if you're just here having a good time, A+, can't ask for more. On the week, tomorrow is more trails, moving into chapter 6 of Trails, second chapter, chapter 6. That's been a blast. More Caravan Heart, trying to solve for post game on Wednesday. Thursday is not Little Town Hero again for another week. That will be back. It'll be. I've got a couple things up in the air right now. The thing that's currently highest up on it is a Pokemon TCG for the Game Boy ROM hack. So unless I find something more interesting to me than that, that's what Thursday will be. And then Friday is our Slay the Spire time. So anyway, thank you all for joining. Y'all have a good night, everybody.